Most teams building the AI systems today think that they have a model problem. If the answer is incorrect, let's upgrade the model. Let's upgrade to the latest version of 5.1, 5.2, or whatever the latest version of the model. But if you closely look into the production incident, in most of the scenarios, it's the upstream that's causing the problem. The retrieval, query interpretation, the context selection, these are the ones that are actually causing the problem. Because at the end of the day, the LLM is the last component in the pipeline. Today, I want to show you a failure where the model behaved perfectly and the system still produced the wrong answer. A team have actually built a production rack system. I'll say a rack system, which they actually deployed into a production. They spent 3 weeks and they ran it against the 50 questions, and 47 of them were correct. The demo was clean, leadership signed off, and they shipped it into the production. 2 weeks later, the support tickets started climbing. Users were getting the wrong answers. It's not broken looking wrong, but it's a kind of the one we call it as a fluent wrong, where it is confident in answering such wrong answers. The kind of wrong that gets acted on before anyone checks. What the team did, it's like every team does. So they tweak the prompt, they swap the model to the latest version of the model that's available, they rebuild the chunks. And when they did that, nothing fixed systematically. The failure kept coming back. It started coming back on specific class of queries, and nobody could pinpoint as why it is happening, because in all these scenarios no one was measuring the retrieval. 6 weeks later, someone pulled the retrieval logs. The wrong chunks were getting re-ranked first, and it was happening in a consistent manner on the informal queries. The pipeline had no mechanism to handle such gap. The pipeline had no mechanism to handle the gap between what user has mentioned to what embedding model required to find the right chunks. That means in this scenario, the model was actually fine. The retrieval was broken, and it had been broken since the day one. And that's what we're going to look today. Here is a system that every rack tutorial builds. Query comes in, you would go ahead and apply the embedding. You run the cosine similarity against your vector index. You will pull your top k records or top k chunks. You will pass them to the LLM as a context, and the LLM is the one that will generate the answer. Now, I want to be precise about something. Now, this is not wrong. On clean, specific queries against a narrow, well maintained corpus, this pipeline would actually work. The embedding model will be able to find the right document. The LLM will get the good context. The answer will be correct. Now, let me just show you a working case. I've already prepared the code. I'll take you through the same. So, here, if I just give you a quick demonstration, I have a few query right now. So, I'm just going ahead and building my corpus. We have few documents where we have updated into our vector index. And let's take a look into the query that we have got. So I have first query here. The query says that what are the SLA uptime guarantees for the enterprise customers? So we have retrievals. So we have on the rank one, we have enterprise SLA, which talks about uptime and response commitment. And we have the document has been properly pulled. We have this required chunk and it is ranked 1. And we could see that we have some retrieval signal as well. And we have the final answer from the LLM. The LLM says that the enterprise customers are guaranteed 99.9% monthly uptime. So we were able to get the right answer, and this was able to derive from the right context, that is my SLA enterprise document. So when we are able to find this right document, we'll obviously get the highest score. We'll be able to derive the clean answers. It works exactly as we design. Now, this is what most of the teams would build. And this is basically a common demo or a common POC that I've seen teams building it. And this is what most tutorials show as well. The failure does not happen here. It happens when your real users arrive. And remember, your real users do not query like the one that you might have in your evaluation set. So one small change, one small change, your same system, same corpus, same model can break like anything. Now, what might happen in the production system over here is when your real users come in, when they start placing the queries like, can I get my money back? It's the same system, same model, but a change in query would result in a different set of response itself. Now, with this query, if you take a look at it, the current chunk or the correct chunk is in the rank number 2 against the rank 1 that you have got, which is an incorrect chunk. Now, in this scenario, when the LLM is acting upon, in such scenario, the LLM will get hallucinate, or in some scenarios, it might not be able to interpret in a right manner. And the thing over here is the users does not even know as what is happening in the backend. From the LLM standpoint, it will look into this context and generate a coherent response. So the failure over here is absence of any component between my query and the retrieval. There's no component that actually adjusts these things between my query and the retrieval. So this is the common challenge that I've seen in most of the demo tutorials, guys. So when we start seeing this in production, okay, when we start seeing this in production, what we observe over here is the diagnosis is pretty straightforward, I would say. In most of the scenarios, I have seen that people start blaming the model when the output is not correct. They'll start adding few short prompt. They'll start increasing the system instruction. But in reality, the challenge over there was the retrieval is broken. And one simple thing that you can do over here is, so use this query rewrite with BM25 and re-ranking. By just improving these two things, by just including these two things, you're going to be improving your performance of the retrieval, which will ensure that the LLM will be getting the right context. The LLM will get the right context and will ensure that you always get that context listed on top. So this is the core idea about how you can differentiate yourself from the demo rack to the production rack. So what happens in the scenario right here is, see, when we take a look into the production RAG architecture, this is what you would be having in the production RAG architecture. When the user is sending the query, you will not straight away check to the embedding. You will send it to the query understanding layer where you will classify the intent. You will perform the query rewriting. You will expand the query if it's insufficient. Then you will route it to the relevant path. Then when it comes to the retrieval, it's not a simple vector search retrieval. You will go ahead and implement multiple other techniques such as keyword search technique, and you will combine it with the vector search technique. Here also you will apply the indexing, and whatever the retrieved documents that you would be having, you will go ahead and apply the re-rankle over here, which will help you to improve the ranking. And depending on your application, you can also use the specific re-rankers too, like the cross encoder scoring or relevance reordering. And then you are going to help, it will actually help you to order the document and pass the top end documents from the list of candidates that you have identified. You can also go ahead and add a small routing threshold, which can be a relevance threshold. Let's say if the documents are insufficient, you can also trigger the fallback if the retrieval is failing. Then you send it to the LLM for generation of the response. And after that, you're going to be measuring with help of your evaluation pipeline and the monitoring layer. So by implementing this strategy, you will be able to convert your demo rack into a production grade rack. So when we talk about the demo, okay, if I want to compare it with the demo pipeline or the demo rack system, you'll just have a 4-step prototype. So you'll have a user query, you will send it to the embedding model, you'll fetch the relevant documents from the vector database, and you will send it to the LLM to generate the answer. But for the real users working, and when you're trying to build such real system, those 4 stages are insufficient. You need to include all these layers to ensure that your system is production ready. Now, if you're someone who is building the 4-layer architecture for RAG, it's high time that you extend this 4-layer to the 8-layer such that you'll be able to see the better outcome. If I want to show you a quick summary, I'll just quickly rerun my entire script. So this will display the summarization table of whatever that we have talked about. See, we need to have a layer number 1 when we talk about the production RAG. We'll be having a layer 1, which is about the chunking strategy. So in the tutorial, people will be using the character split or the fixed size, but in production, we use the semantic chunking, document aware boundaries, metadata tagging per chunk. Then on the second layer, you'll have a query understanding layer. On third layer, it is hybrid retrieval process. Fourth layer, it is about the re-ranking layer. Fifth layer is context filtering plus fallback. Sixth layer is the retrieval evaluation. And seventh layer is your monitoring and observability. As you can clearly see, this is the kind of system that gets shipped. And this is the kind of system that will just show that you know how to build the system or you know how to build a prototype. Remember, guys, systems are the one that get shipped, not demos. So if you miss your layer number 1, you are going to seal your relevance in the ingestion layer itself. That means if you're not ingesting correctly, the right document will not pop up during the retrieval. Now, if you miss the layer number 2, query understanding layer, as we have seen in this example, your informal queries will not actually generate the right documents. The reason is you're working with the real users. They'll not be sending the formal information over there in the query. If you miss your layer number 3, the keyword queries miss the documents in the corpus. This is especially true for the enterprise scenarios. You are going to deal with a lot of terminologies and vocabularies specific for your industry. If you miss the layer number 4, your wrong chunks will appear in the top rank. If you miss the layer number 5, your LLM will hallucinate. If you miss the layer number 6, you'll have to be waiting for the users to report it. If you miss the layer number 7, your corpus drift might happen and your query shift. All these things will be invisible for you. All right, guys. So I hope you have now understood about how you need to harden your rack system. So go ahead and do the same. I've linked the resources in the description. Join our community.nachiketh.in to download this source code. And if you're someone who's looking to build such production RAG or production applications, so you can also check out our bootcamp. So in our bootcamp, we cover these aspects in detail too. No matter what your experience is, if you're able to understand the Python programming, you'll be able to master these enterprise agentic applications technique. So in your week 1 and week 2, you will actually learn about these agent foundation. And in your week 3, you will build your production rack using the same 7-layer architecture we talked about. In week 4 to 5, you'll be mastering about the tool design, testing, line graph deep dive, async methodology, human in the loop. And loop week 6 is about the deployment, streaming, APIs, scaling with the cloud. We'll be working with the real system. In week 7, we'll talk about the guardrails, observability, evaluation pipeline. And on week 8, we'll be mastering about capstone project. Will give you the guidance about how to need to build the portfolio and the interview patterns that you have to be aware of. Now, this is something that is exclusive for the people who are intending to put the effort. Okay, this is not for people who are looking for just demo. It's for the people who are looking to put the effort and build the system. If that's in alignment, you can check the link in description. If you're not ready, it's completely fine. We'll be posting multiple videos on our YouTube channel as well. You can join only when you're ready. All right. So, all right, guys. So remember, system ship, demos don't. So, folks, with this, we come to the end of this video. Join our community, check out our bootcamp, and check out our interview guide if you are preparing for the Agentic AI interviews. And I'll see you next time.